All right, good morning. This is the WGXC Morning Show, and we have quite an exciting show. It's exciting in more ways than one because this is the first time that I am doing a multilingual show. So we'll be doing a little Spanish and English and translations. And we're gonna have ourselves a ball. We're talking about the event that is coming up this evening, right out here in the park, and we are encouraging people to take a walk by, right here in the public square. They're going to have an event called Teach In and Speak Out on Citizenship, and it is a public forum on immigration reform. Takes place at 5:30 p.m. today, right out there on the 7th Street Park on the corner of Warren Street and 7th Avenue. And with me as my guest today, and young lady, I am not going to mess up your name this time. I want you to say your name.
Jimena Concha, the Vice President of Somos la Llave del Futuro.
And also, sitting right next to me is my buddy Juan Sanchez. Juan has the Sunday Spanish show that has me dancing in my seat on the way back from church every day when his show comes on. Juan Sanchez is here and joining us on the telephone all the way from New York City is Jackie Esposito, the Director of Immigration and Advocacy at the New York Immigration Coalition. Jackie, are you there?
I sure am. Good morning, everyone.
Yay! So I actually did this. I got it put together. And if you've ever listened on Sunday, on our International Day, where we have the Irish show, the Italian show, the show from India, the Haitian show, and one of those shows is the show with Juan, and it is just, it's great. It's great for me because I don't understand a word he's saying, and I just listen to the music and drive off of the road. So Juan, it's great to have Juan as a guest on the show today. And so, you know what? I love it when people have an advocacy, because when they have an advocacy, I don't have to say a word. All I got to do is say something to the effect of, tell me about this event tonight and what it's all about.
Well, we have many organizations, 14 organizations from the area have come together to bring more awareness about the immigration reform and the need for a big, comprehensive and humane reform to all undocumented individuals are living in this country already. So we're going to have like a teaching. That's what it is, a teaching, because we're going to all learn about each other. We're going to learn what we need, and also be more aware, because for some people this is really, oh yes, I have heard of that, but they don't really understand to what extent this is a big issue that we need to resolve, and we need something bigger than just walls in the border from Mexico. We need a humane immigration reform.
Yeah, with our scattershot way that we deliver news, it's most people really don't know the exact details of the immigration situation and the legislation upcoming. So this is more or less to get them in tune with what's going on.
Yes, well, we need to have a pathway to citizenship. That's one of our requests, is because they need to be able to live here with all the full rights that everyone here in America has. There are 11 million people, so this is an impact in the society, and a big one. So the more they are part of the society with all their the rights, their wonderful contributions we can all appreciate. And we also need to have, there's a big problem here, is many moms and dads get deported to Mexico or other countries, and so there's a split, in the family, and some American-born children here get left behind, and this is really anyone understand that this is a really a big issue.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So we need that too. We need to have something more comprehensive. We also need to protect the rights, the workers' rights, the undocumented immigrants' rights, because very often, because they don't have the documents to work here, they get exploited, and we need to like see them as human beings. They're not just workers. They're part of this society, and they need to have the fully like right protections. And also their work conditions sometimes are really horrible, and we need to remember that as well. We need to work on that in that area. Also the very often there's no due process in any of the when they get in front of deportation or detention. They don't have all what everyone else has here. It's like you need due process. They don't have that. They don't have this option. As I said, we need to recognize them as full members of the society, and they have a share and like an immense like culturally and in many ways they have a lot to share, and they have been in the shadows. They have been like kind of pushed
to yeah. Let's try to round this off. Jackie Esposito is on the phone. She's the director of immigration advocacy, and what I'd like to know is, I know that this event is taking place in Hudson today, but Jackie, can you give us the big picture as to what is going on in immigration advocacy? Because I'll tell you, to the average English-speaking American, we probably don't know that there is active immigration advocacy going on in the Latino community.
Yes, well, right now there is a large-scale campaign for reform from around the country. Progressives, conservatives, faith leaders, labor, business, the tech industry, immigrant communities. Everybody is united, Republicans, Democrats, united in the need for immigration reform that provides a path to citizenship for the 11 million people who are living and working and taking care of their families here in the U.S. and have been for, decades in most cases. And everybody's in agreement that we need common sense solutions that put people on a pathway to citizenship. The evidence is overwhelming. It's going to boost our economy. It's going to create jobs in districts all around the country. And so together we're this united front for reform. So that all sounds great. We've got a bill that passed the Senate with bipartisan support. Republicans and Democrats wrote the bill. Republicans and Democrats voted for the bill. And so it seems like this is a no-brainer, right? We must be on the road to immigration reform. And yet there are a few extremist views in Congress, people who just will not talk about compromise and won't try to move the country forward with a smarter policy. These are people like Steve King, a congressman from Iowa, who said that dreamers, these are young people who came to the United States as children, their parents brought them here, in many cases they didn't know they were undocumented, didn't have legal status until they were teenagers, they thought they were just average Americans. Kids that go to school, they're valedictorians of their class, real superstars. He says that most of these kids are drug mules, that they have calves the size of cantaloupes. So it's these voices that are holding hostage reform. And we are all working across the country while Congress is in recess in August to overcome the extremist hold on this process. And come September and October and into the fall, we are united in getting a bill passed.
I have to ask you, because I have heard these extremist voices, and as an African American, I put myself in that place when I hear a congressman making the kind of statements that Congressman King made, which, by the way, are statements that no one would have made 10 years ago. No one would have dared to say something like that. What are your feelings? Do you think that this is going to pass, or how do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, we don't, the bottom line is we don't need people like Stephen King. There are people who have these hateful views, and maybe it's for political gain, who knows. But we don't need their votes. Every day, the list of lawmakers that support immigration reform is growing. There are like 23 Republicans right now who are in the column of either pro pathway to citizenship or just about there. It's making whispers about support for it. So these forces are outnumbered, and I think it's just a question of when is John Boehner, the Speaker of the House, when is John Boehner going to open his eyes and say, okay, it's time to lead on this. We're going to take the direction in the right country, even if it means Republicans and Democrats actually have to agree on something for a change.
Well, let's just hope that happens. Over here at WGXC, one of the wonderful things that the people who formed this station did was they made it really community, and we have a number of Spanish-speaking shows, a Bangladeshi show, Italian show, Irish show, and one of our Spanish shows is hosted by Juan Sanchez, who is here on Sundays, just playing the best music and news that you've ever heard, and he's also an activist in the immigration community. And it's such a pleasure to have Juan sitting next to me, a fellow WGXC programmer, sitting next to me. It is an honor to have him sitting next to me. So Juan, and what we're going to do is we're going to do a little translation for the first time on the WGXC Morning Show, and Juan is going to communicate with us in Spanish, and you're going to translate for us.
Yes.
So, Juan, since you're in this area, tell me about the advocacy that's going on right here in Hudson, in Greene County, and Columbia County.
Como vos sos de esta área, entonces que contés un poco acerca de cómo está el proceso aquí de activismo aquí en esta zona.
Mira, yo vengo trabajando cerca de la comunidad hispana.
I have been working in the Hispanic community
7 años más o menos.
7 years.
Diferentes actividades.
Different activities.
Creo que ha habido un fenómeno
Has been like a phenomenon
a partir de las últimas elecciones presidenciales.
after the last election, presidential election.
En esas elecciones se dio cuenta la nación
On those elections, the nation realized
que el voto hispano
that the Latino Hispanic vote
es determinante en una elección.
could determine the elections.
Puede definir una elección, aunque no son mayoría.
Even if we're not majority, the Hispanic vote can determine the
Entonces,
results of the election.
Además de eso, otro fenómeno que se dio a nivel nacional fue que la gente salió de estar invisible.
Yeah, another situation that occurs is that people at that point start feeling that they can go out and they can be visible. Then they got out of their houses and become like
They are empowered.
they felt empowered.
Y comenzaron a dar la cara, a decir, aquí estoy, no tengo documentos, pero voy a luchar al descubierto.
Yeah, they like went in front and said, here I am. I don't have the documents, but I'm ready to fight for my rights for rights too.
Yes,
so they
yes.
came out like kind of.
Yes. Can you ask one for our listening area, for Greene, Columbia County, Hudson Valley, does he have any idea what the Latino population is?
Que si vos sabes en esta zona cuál es la población hispana en esta zona.
No tengo un dato exacto, sería mentiroso decirlo, pero ha crecido en los últimos 5 años, ha crecido de manera extraordinaria.
Yeah, I don't have a specific number, but it has increased immensely in these 5 last years.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yo puedo hablar, por ejemplo, de un dato que yo concebí cuando estaba trabajando con la comunidad y llegué a conocer unas 1,000 familias.
One thing that I can say when I was working with families is that I was able to meet like 100, ¿cuánto?
1,000 familias.
1,000 families.
Ah, okay.